Welcome to Humans of Armadale, the third series of podcasts about community volunteers in the Humans of Armadale series showcasing the diversity of City of Armadale residents. This collection was produced and developed by the Center for Stories and the City of Armadale. Together, we are sharing stories that reflect our state's rich heritage, diversity, and history. The interviews you're about to hear were recorded on Wajak, Noongar Boja, and we pay our respects to their elders, traditional custodians, and knowledge keepers, who are the first storytellers of this place. 22 City of Armadale residents were interviewed by Center for Stories to tell us a story of their volunteering experience. In this episode, we introduce Matthew Hurlston.
I started volunteering in Melbourne where I worked on steam machinery for a little bit. I was with Melbourne Steam Traction Engine Club. In that job I learnt how to operate traction engines, ploughing engines, tractors, 12-inch gauge railway. And then I got into radio as well. And then I did a little bit of volunteer work through work education where I worked in a factory doing trailer seals, and volunteering has been a huge part of my life. And when I got into WA, I got my Cert 2 in music in 2007, I think it was. I got an award for Most Improved. At the moment, I DJ for Groove Time with Jill, and in that I MC and I choose a little bit of music before we start, and then we do a section where disabled people come and sing with ordinary tracks, and that's a busy day that I have on a Wednesday. That's a really good job. I also did lighting 1 year for the Hawkers Markets. I did that with Chris Horgan back when John Cope did music in the mall. It wasn't till I did Fry Park with Annette Bowden that I know, I'm trying to set up the gig, and we had a lovely volunteer called Anthony from Central Institute of Technology, which halfway through the gig, Kelly, the photographer, came up and I ended up having a 5-minute chat with her. In fact, I was doing karaoke on Friday night with Max, and I've known them for 10, 20 years, and caught up with a friend, and I'm like, when I hear 2 names on the list, I know I'm having a good shift. I haven't worked with all of the people that I mentioned, but meeting all these people, you get different experiences. I can't go through a shopping centre without meeting someone I know. Having a background in volunteering, and one day I was at the Champion Lakes Tavern and this dude was having issues with his lights. And I went, dude, I can see this is travelling here. Would you like me to have a look at it for you? And I made an extra family out of that. But, in terms of meeting people, I had the best time with Australian Idol winners. I've had, Sabrina D. One day at the Gosnells Hotel, I fell over on someone's spilt beer. The sound guy goes to pick me up and then goes, I'll let Sabrina do it. Working with Annette Bowden and Fred Park, that was really, really a great... Because not only did I work for Annette Bowden, but I spent 4 or 5 weeks talking to people.
Thank you for listening. This project was funded by the City of Armadale and produced by Center for Stories. Center for Stories is a not-for-profit organization with charitable status. Our team is small and nimble, and we love what we do. To help us to continue to support diverse storytellers, consider a small donation. You can donate at centerforstories.com. This podcast was produced by Center for Stories and sound engineering by Mason Velios. Thank you.